If you've ever shared the salsa dance floor with me, you'll know that I live a life of humble yet fluid flourishments. So guitar chords are no different. Today we're going to talk about some kind of little flourishes that you can add to any major chord, and it's going to sound something like this. So, this is any major chord. We're going to do this in the key of F, the key of 2019. And we're going to start with just this F chord right here. Could be an F major 7 chord if you get the high E string in there. But this is basically going to be a way to do it where you don't have to bar anything, but you can still play in a different key, okay? So this is really going to be something that we do primarily with major chords right now, but you can really try them in any position that you want. All it is one shape, one chord shape, and then one little 4-note, maybe box, if you want to call it like that, all right? So F major, 3rd fret on the A string, 3rd fret on the D string, 2nd fret on the G string, 1st fret on the B string. Okay, so that's great. That's a chord. That's cool. That's fun. But it could just get boring just playing. Now, you want to be able to add something that you can do in any key, in any chord you're doing. A lot of times with like F major chord, you can do hammer-ons. But you can't always do that in a different key, right? So we're going to start in this key, but then we're going to transfer it to something else. Now, anytime you're in a major chord, there are 3 major chords in any key, right? In the key of F, there's an F major, a B flat major, and a C major. So we're going to get to all these, but so we're going to focus on just this right now. All right, F major. Now, my ring finger and my pinky are kind of stacked neatly next to each other, 2 frets higher. These notes are also going to be in the same key, always in the same key as any major chord. You can go down here. It doesn't even matter if this is the 1 chord, as F is the 1 chord in the key of F. It works for anything, right? So, I already know that the 3rd fret on the A string and the D string are in this key. They can be kind of eligible to be played along with this chord. Same is true for the 5th fret on the A and the D string. So, we have 3A, 3D, 5A, 5D. There's really an infinite amount of things you can do with just these 4 notes. You can start doing double stops where you maybe hit 2 at a time. Also rocking out this D'angelico Deluxe SS Emerald Green, which is really awesome. So that's something you can do right on top of the F chord. Another thing I just did right there is I slid almost as an extension of what I'm doing. A flourishment, if you will. Double stop. 3 to scale. Slide into it. Just really hone in on these 4 notes that are sitting kind of right beneath this shape. Now, like I said, in the key of F, we have F, G, A, B flat. Okay, the 4 chord, the next major chord is going to be the same shape, albeit, if we're using in bar chord terms, the 6th fret. Okay, we do the same thing. Just like that, we do the same thing. Those same 4 notes. Again, now these are technically different notes, but they're all going to be in that same key. Now that also leads us into the 5 chord, C major. Now I've got my pointer finger on the 8th fret. Everything else stays the same. And all of that still goes 2 frets higher. A string, D string, 10, 12, 10, 12. Okay, so I'm kind of pairing this little section of a scale, however you want to look at it, with each chord. We have the F major chord, and then its little 4-note box, which again, you can maybe even put over like a G minor shape, which would be the 2 chord in the key of F. We don't even have to get that complicated. I just want to talk about flourishments we can do over a major chord. Then we go to that B flat, which is right here. Then its pairing is going to be right here. And then we get to the C major. And its pairing is going to be right here. So you can almost think of it as 2 different ways. You can think of these as chords, F to B flat to C to F. Or you can think of the accompanying 4-note little spot. Okay? So I think the more you can start incorporating different pieces of scales maybe into your chord playing, even like maybe arpeggios or something like that. It really just kind of, all these little embellishments, these little flourishes really kind of make a big deal. So I want to just move everything one step higher. So let's do it in the key of G, all right? So really, instead of starting on F, we're going to start on a G major. And notice I'm avoiding the bar chord. You don't have to avoid the bar chord. A million different things you can do with the bar chord there. But I think it's just easier to kind of focus in on the middle 4 strings with something like that. Because that's where like the meat of these guitar chords end up being a lot of the time anyway, right? So now, I can always remember that where my ring and my pinky are, that's going to be the top of this 4-note box. Again, when I say a box, I almost kind of like draw like a little rectangle here, something like that, right? So this is going to be the accompanying G major box. And then now the next step would be the 4th chord in the key of G, G, A, B, C. See, we already did this chord in the B flat, the 8th fret. And then the 5th chord would be a D major chord. Okay, so G, C, D, back to G. Okay, so we can really just call out these notes real quick, just to kind of, just for fun, for great note learning fun. With the G major chord, the notes that we're flourishing the chord with are going to be a D, an E, a G, octave, G, and A. With the C, we end up starting here with the 5th of C, which is a G, an A, a C, and a D. Now with the D, we have an A, a B, a D, and E. So you notice a lot of these times we're sharing different notes. They're always going to sound good, whether you double stop over them. Or do something different, like... So no matter how fast, how slow you play them, I think it's just a good way to kind of take something that you know how to do. A lot of times this easy kind of bar chord-ish shape is something that, you know, guitar players learn relatively early in their guitar journey. And then take an extension off that. And I think that's an excellent way to start kind of, you know, chunking pieces of information together by tacking it on to the end of something you already know, rather than thinking of it being totally different, like, okay, this is my guitar chord thing that I'm doing, now I have a scale thing that is totally separate. All this stuff goes together, you know? So that's why when I teach, I always kind of like to add things on top of things that you already know. And that's an easier way to integrate into your practice instead of like segmenting it into different things. G. Always, no matter where you are. Anytime you root on the E string, you can always do the same thing. Even like on the A string. Like I said, remember we had this C on the 8th fret here, and if we rooted it on the A string, do the exact same thing. This works anywhere on any E string and A string rooted major chord. I might do another one on minor chords if you guys are interested too. But again, this kind of little is a good way to kind of just start, like I said, tacking notes onto the end of those chords, using them as phrases, and just kind of like using it as a tool to help see the fretboard. So hopefully that was helpful to you. If you like more of this type of teaching, check out the class that I made with Ian, because a lot of it has to do with like taking extensions of chords and using different scales and arpeggios with it. So I'll link you to that below if you want to check that out. That'd be really cool. And if you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comments section, Instagram, Twitter, or the website. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot.